All right, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be designing a custom logo for a band that uses an elephant as their logo. And they want something kind of sporty looking. And the name of the band is Thunder Trunk, which I think is a really cool name. So I've got a prompt already set up here, which is elephant brand mark in the style of professional sport team logos. Iconic. We want a headshot. We want it angry. We're doing it as a high contrast with thick outlines, a white outline and flat color with a flat white background. And we also, by the way, we've got a mood board set up, and I want to show you what that is real quick. So a mood board is a way that you can tell Midjourney, hey, use this to help me design. And I've got one that is a whole bunch of sport team logos. And let me just scroll down here to that. And let's open that up. And what I did is I uploaded all of these logos. Some of these I've created in Midjourney, but uploaded all of these logos in here to use as the basis for creating that type of iconic sport team logo look. So these are a whole bunch of different stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to turn on our mood board. So it's just this little button right here. And we want to make sure that we only have that one selected. Sometimes I forget that I've selected one of these, and you want to make sure that you've got the right one selected. And I do. And also let's look at our parameters. Now, a lot of people get confused in Midjourney about what do all those numbers mean? You just have to go here to the control panel. We want to basically a square, that's the 1-to-1 aspect ratio. And here's our style command. For this type of thing, I'm usually going to be between 100 and maybe 300. So let's see what 150 gives us. And variety gives us, of the 4 images we get, how close are they in design. And then what I like to do is I always like to do repeat 4. And let's go ahead and just run this. All right, and here we go. Now, what we're looking for is something that we can use and play with. I'm not too concerned about the color because I know that I can go in and change this. So I'm looking for something I can play around with. I kind of like this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do very strong and get some variations of that. I also like this one. We'll do the same one. And let's scroll up here and see what we get. And usually it takes an iteration or two to kind of narrow down on some things, and then we can start really playing with it. And here are our results. Do we see any that we really like? I really like this one right here. Let's pop that one up. That looks pretty cool, but we're going to hit very subtle a couple times. And what we're looking for here is just slight variations to it. I know we can change this later. We're going to upscale it and then also bring it into Illustrator and live trace it real quick so we can use it as a logo. But what we want is just something that we can really use, right? And fine tune this. Now, later on, we can edit the eyes or the tusks or whatever. Okay, I'm not too worried about that. And I'm not also worried about the color either. We're just looking for something that really shouts out, hey, use me. So we've got 8 new versions. So let's just click through these real quick. I kind of like that one. Oop. Sorry. That was until I saw this one. I think this was the winner right here. So we're going to use this one. Okay. So we've got something that we can really use. We're going to play with color and do some different things later, but I've got something that I can upscale. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to bring this into Gigapixel and really upscale it so we get really super crisp lines, right? So all we need to do is just download this. And we'll just save this to our hard drive. All right, so now we're at Gigapixel, and what we want to do is upload our image that we downloaded from Midjourney, and we're going to upscale it and clean it up and get it ready to vectorize it. So it's super easy. We just click the Browse Image button, we find the file, open it up, and we have a control panel that comes up here. And what I want to show you is that we can adjust the size of the image, right? And just by this little slider bar right here. And you'll notice that there is the big view here matches up to the thumbnail, and it shows you a little rectangle there where you are. And then right here, we can upscale it to whatever multiple we want. I like to use 4 times. And then we can also set the pixel density. And of course, as a professional designer, you know that 300 is basically the standard, but you can adjust that to whatever you want. They have the different models. And so if we were doing like a image that was a photograph or maybe a painting or something, we might use the art and CG for computer graphics. But this is really kind of a flat, more of a logo thing. So we're using text and shapes here. So we've got some controls in there. If we click, and we could just do sharpen, denoise, or fix compression. And then this little auto button here, if you click that, it adjusts it to what you normally use, which is what I normally use right here. And then it starts upscaling. Now I'm gonna zero in because I wanna play with the slider bar when it gets done upscaling. And that'll be done here in just a moment. All right, so here we go. So this is what I wanna show you, and this is why I really like Gigapixel, because you can see on the right-hand side, see how clean and crisp that is? We can use the slider bar and you can see, what it does. So this tool uses AI to add in the missing pixels and stuff, right? To sharpen everything up and clean it up. And we went from a 72 DPI file to a 300. So this really makes this great when we bring this into our tool to live trace it, to vectorize it, whatever you use, live trace or Vectorize or IO or whatever you're using. This is really going to set that up nicely. And then all we have to do is just click export, hit save, and it's going to save it to our hard drive in our same folder. And we're ready to go. And we're going to just proceed to the next step. All right, so here is our image. We've gone through Gigapixel, and so now we've live traced it in Illustrator. I'm sure you guys know how to do that. And I just want to kind of zero in here pixels. When we click on it, you can see we don't have a whole lot of points, and that's great. That's exactly what we want when we do stuff like this. Now I could go in and tweak a bunch of stuff, and normally I probably would do this, but I'm not going to do it for this video. And clean some things up, but I just want to show you how this all comes together. And I've got some things already set up. So let's take this and let's put it into where we have our type. All right, so here's our final image. So it's a 2-color. We just have it in red and this navy blue. We got our type set on top, and we've got the elephant underneath. That looks pretty good. And then if we wanted to, we could also make this into a little box shape, for stickers or something else. Let me show you that real quick. And in here, we could just do something like that. And that could go on, equipment boxes and anything else that the band wants. And it's pretty easy to make this stuff. So here's an easy way that you can take an idea, create a Midjourney, upscale it using Gigapixel, bring it into any vectorization program like Illustrator and live trace it. And then now you can bring it into your final result. And this is where you can clean it up and make it the exact Pantone colors you want. And you can do all the editing with it, which of course, once you do the editing, makes this a copyrightable thing because you have changed it. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching the video. And if you've got any more questions or projects that you want to find out how you could use Midjourney to design with, please drop a comment below, or maybe think about joining our Midjourney Experience School platform. So we have a community of creatives just like you, all learning Midjourney and best practices and stuff like that. And we would love to see you there. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.